Hey guys, so today is episode 4 of the 100% Me podcast. My name is Mike Wilson with Speak Audibly, and I thank you guys so much for joining us. Episode 4 is with Mrs. Bre Spencer. Brie and I have been friends for almost a decade, as you will find out in this week's episode. She's an amazing nutritionist. She loves people. You will see how brilliant she is when it comes to that industry and her field. And you'll also see how passionate she is about people. So let's jump right on in. Hey guys, welcome to SpeakAudibly.com. My name is Mike B. And I'm here with my son. We're playing at the dog park here. It's amazing. All right, guys, we are here with the one, the only Bre Spencer. Breezy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Just trying to live my best life in quarantine, but doing the best I can with that.
There you go. That's for sure. Well, guys, just a little background on mine and Bree's relationship. I've known Bre for almost a decade now, since I first moved to Texas, and we've been like family ever since. Pretty much ever since we first met. She's been my sister. But Bre, why don't you go ahead and tell my audience just who you are, about yourself, about the family, and let's go from there.
Okay, so really a little bit about myself. Nutrition and fitness, I really kind of veered away from the fitness side of it, but nutrition has always been a part of me. Being that I came from a family who had many different types of ailments going on, I've always been one of those type of people that I said, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to allow those things to be a statistic for my family, and just try to find different ways to make it happen. When it came down to nutrition, it's so much fun. Whenever I actually dug deep into it in 2015, I actually went and got my certification to become a certified nutritionist. And with that, I found out a lot of information on things that you need to regrow your muscles, build strong bones, just for everyday life. And that's one of the biggest things for me with nutrition. I am married, have been married for 15 years. I have 2 wonderful kids. My husband's name is William. My daughter's name is Mackenzie, and my son's name is Malcolm. He'll be a senior next year. That's going to be a little stressful, but
Wow.
we're making it through. Just trying to do the best I can right now, especially having to be a homeschool teacher.
There you go.
But one thing's for sure is that the nutrition and everything is not going in lack because of us being here at the house.
Right.
That's for certain.
Right. Speaking of, I mean, that's awesome. 15 years. Congrats to that. And
Thank you.
yeah, I can't believe Malcolm's a senior. That just made me feel real certain way. But when it comes to nutrition, first off, just tell us what interests you about the health and the nutrition game.
Well, for me, I feel like the best way to explain it is that it's truly how we live our best life. It affects our mind, it affects our body, it affects our soul. And how it does that, and then basically what I did is that I break it down into, you put best into an acronym. So it would be, B would be balance, E is eat, S is sleep, and then T is train. So in balance, what that's going to be like our brain and our nervous system. So it helps you to manage. That's where you're going to be managing your stress, your you meditate, exercise, reading a book, just learning how to just keep our bodies healthy by doing things that are going to eliminate stress, which will allow us to be able to receive information just better. It helps us to be able to process better, helps our mood, affects our behavior. Then those things they just come from you just making sure that you're eating the right amount of vitamins, taking the right amount of vitamins, minerals, your amino acids, Amino acids are, of course, the proteins that we need in order for our bodies to continue to keep growing so that they don't, stuff don't start falling apart on us.
Right.
But, those things are just very important for, when you're trying to create a balance. So for E, the part of best, then you have is, I do it just based like this. You say, just because it tastes good to you doesn't mean it's good for you.
Right.
And that part of it is going to be our excretory system, because when we eat, it affects the things that come out of our body. Like people say all the time, you put trash in, you get trash out. You put good stuff in, you get good stuff out of it. So we want to make sure that when what we're eating is, it affects our excretory system in a good way, so that we're having good bowel movements, so that we're having, a healthy urinary tract. Because those things when you're not able to eliminate waste from your body, it literally can make you sick.
Yep.
So we want to be making sure that we're eating things that are going to be beneficial to our body. Sleep. This is something that people neglect so often. OMG.
So true. So true.
We just do not get enough sleep as adults, as children, whatever it may be. We just don't get enough sleep. And the problem with that is the sleep affects our skeletal system. As we lose the amount of sleep, it affects our bones. So we start having, it affects the bone marrow, the density, the flexibility of our bones, which can cause, minor fractures, us having breakage, osteoporosis, things like that, when we're not getting an adequate amount of sleep, which they said the average amount of sleep we should be getting is 6 to 8 hours, which is, that's not a whole lot, but, to some people it is whenever you go to sleep at midnight and you're getting up at 4. Right. So, right. So during this time of quarantine, everybody should be well rested, and we should be getting plenty of sleep right now to be able to revive all of that. That's one thing we can honestly say that we've been getting. And then the T is train. So once we start revitalizing ourselves, we're making sure that we're consuming the right amount of vitamins, we're eating the right amount of food. Now we have to start training our body to develop those healthy habits, so they continue to go, so they continue to stay on and on. And that's going to be our muscular system, which that helps us build strong muscles. It helps our muscles to stay strong. Muscle recovery for those who do weightlifting. That's goes hand in hand when it comes down to training. You have to train your body to lift heavier weights, just like you have to train your body to eat healthy, and maintain that type of health in order so that your muscles can recover properly and you don't find yourself with rips and tears.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so for those of you guys who don't know, Brie is one of the featured individuals in my new book, 100% Me Physically, in which we do talk about all of these things. But this is why it's her. This is why she is in there. You hear her passion, you hear her knowledge. So Brie, say we have a college student or even a high school age student who say, you know what, one day I want to become a nutritionist. What are the kind of the key skills that you consider to be essential to work in that industry?
Well, the biggest thing when it comes down to working in the health and nutrition is you have got to maintain discipline. Discipline is so important in this field. The reason being because it's ever changing, and you have to make sure that you're moving with the change when it comes down to food. Just like they have the big thing with superfoods and organic foods, and those, like the superfoods, they're constantly adding different things. So whenever I say that it comes down to a discipline with that, you have to make sure that you're taking the time to study and find out about those new superfoods. You're taking the time to go to new conferences and everything whenever they're, coming out with different types of vitamins, and just really talking to health professionals on, okay, how are these particular things benefiting your clients? So that, I know how to utilize that whenever I'm wanting to either go talk to people so that they can further their knowledge in nutrition.
That's good. That's good. And you hit on such a key aspect of life, and so many people who call themselves professionals, right? A professional 10 years ago, if you stopped learning 10 years ago about nutrition, you'd be out of the game today. You'd be out of the game,
Yes.
because I mean, there was one point when the food pyramid said something about all of these grains and rice, and these breads were like the biggest thing you needed. And then
Oh my gosh.
at the top of the pyramid, it said use sugar sparingly. But isn't there certain things that turn into sugar in the body, and we were all out of whack. So if you stop learning
Yes.
then, I could see. So that is awesome. So with so many, when I think of nutrition, and I don't mean to play anyone's advocate or the enemy in any way, shape, or form, but I feel like there's so many limitations. So many things that I can't do. And I feel like that's a fear for a lot of people. It's like, I don't really want to go into good nutrition because this is going to tell me what I can't eat. So are there a couple things that you can say, you know what, these are things that you can eat and that you can enjoy, or things that you enjoy? What would those things be?
Okay. So the biggest thing the biggest thing that I tell anybody for a starting point with nutrition is drink water. Our bodies are made up of water. The brain itself is 77% water.
Wow.
If you're not drinking the amount of water that you need on a daily basis, start there. You don't have to sit up there and go to this extreme of, oh well, I'm just going to eat salads every day.
Right.
Don't do that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't do that. Oh, I'm only going to eat lean meats without any salt. And, I don't do things like that. Start off simple, and just drink water. It helps to flush out your system. It helps to, and that's one thing that they've even been talking about recently is just making sure that our systems stay hydrated. We're coming up on our summer months, and and right now, especially with us being in spring allergy season, that water
Right.
helps to get that pollen and everything and allergies. It helps to flush all that out of our system so that it's not continuously staying just in our sinus cavities in our body that's causing things to flare up.
Wow.
Another thing that you can do that is just it's so simple. I mean, learn about fruits and vegetables and plant a garden. The
There you
biggest thing that that people try to sell us on is saying that things are organic and saying that things are this way. Well, we know for sure if we plant it,
go. Right.
we know what we're putting into our bodies
Right.
each and every time. I know that if I put my bell pepper in the ground and I don't put any type of pesticides and I'm making sure that my soil is nutrient rich, I know that that's going to benefit me instead of
Wow.
going to a store and paying $1.25 or $1.50 for a bell pepper that is full of pesticides and things that are not good for our body. And then
Wow.
now I'm having to drink more water to flush that out of my system.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's
So,
that's good. I almost felt like you was reading my mail there for a minute, because I've been that person, right? Who just there's a specific vegan restaurant here, and I mean, I got in one day. I'm like, I'm going to take care of my health and my nutrition, and I just straight up was like, we're going here to eat every day. The first day, my put my stomach in a knot. And I'm like, I'm not I'm not eating this no more. I'm gonna have to go for that fake organic or whatever, because I can't come here.
no.
I went way too hard, way too fast. So that's awesome. Start with water, and even the Crystal, my wife, would be laughing right now, because when it comes to starting a garden, I just real quick, I started with a little avocado pit or seed or whatever you call the thing, and I'm putting it in the water. It's half in water, half out. I put my toothpicks, like they say on all the videos. And for whatever reason, I didn't think about the fact that avocados grow into a tree. I'm thinking,
Mhm.
I'm about to get this little plant. It's gonna take like maybe 2-3 months. I'm gonna have some avocados hanging off this mug. Crystal's like,
Oh
babe,
no.
it comes from a tree. Like, okay. Huh. So that's where I'm at, y'all. Just so you know, you know, that's why your boy brought Brie into the book. All right.
Oh no. Of course, of course.
So speaking of my wife and I's conversation, how have you seen health and nutrition bring families and bring couples together?
So, just basically going off of what you said, that's one thing we try to do. Like as far as vegan, now starting at the beginning of the year, that is something that I actually started doing, I went on a vegan diet, and it has been very beneficial for me and my family because, just trying to do something different, as an African American woman, that is something that is such a challenge, because we have so many things that can cause our bodies to get thrown out of whack. It affects our thyroid. It affects, and mainly our thyroid, which affects so many parts of our body. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to go vegan. And that's one thing that has literally helped my family, because they've been getting into the what is it? into the kitchen more to figure out what type of different things I'm making. But the few things that I want to touch on is that you can create different meals at least with one vegetable or fruit a day. That's one thing that has helped us. Even though my family still eats meat, we at least try to incorporate fruits and vegetables into our diets. That's a big deal. Another thing that I thought that would be fun is to do like a water challenge. Granted, we all have the water app that we can download on our phone, but it would be really cool to do it with your family. And basically, you're just drinking water throughout the day. Okay. Average person is supposed to have about 2 liters of water. Yes, it may feel like you're drowning, but you're not. You're fine. Again, like I said, the brain is made up of 77% water, so it will go where it's needed. Awesome. But just doing a challenge like that, saying, let's see who goes to the bathroom the most, because, right. When you drink a lot of water, my goodness, the amount of times you will go to the bathroom just starts to be absolutely ridiculous. Also,
that's awesome.
You won't have time for any drama because you'll be in the bathroom. So that's one thing. Also, it helped with when it comes down to families. It will help y'all to be able to do. You can do cookbooks, recipes, things that you can pass down to the younger generation. Because I think that that's one thing that the younger generation is lacking: the knowledge of how to get in the kitchen and prepare a quality meal instead of just, okay, well, we're just going to eat chicken and French fries, or we're just going to eat, things that are just really unbalanced. Wow. Also, something else that's really fun. You can do a fruit ninja fruit salad, where basically, you and your family, y'all get in there, y'all get some fruit, start chopping it up, and first person chop up all their fruit wins. Wow. And another thing that my family, we do a thing that's called What's This? And What's This, we do at least once a month. We try to introduce a new dish from a different country or region. Wow. The reason why we do that is because it's so important to know. We know our nutrition here in America. We don't know nutrition outside of that. So it's very important that we dip outside of and go into different regions and different countries, because the way that their nutrition is set up is completely different. And because our DNA comes from so many different, it comes from different countries and different regions, we need to make sure that we're feeding that part of our bodies.
Wow. I have never known or even thought about that, just how much, if it's different, then what part of their system are they? Wow, that just blew my mind. I hope you guys just heard what she said. If you have to rewind this real quick and go back, listen to what Brie said. I mean, What's This sounds like an amazing game just to bring the family together, but just for the knowledge and the learning, that's awesome. So, as you know, as we mentioned, we are definitely quarantined right now, sitting in the house. When it comes to coronavirus, how has this pandemic, how has this time impacted your business and the industry as a whole?
So for me, I think that it's actually accelerated my business, and I feel like it's affected the industry in a very good way. The reason being is when everything started getting shut down in March, what were some of the things that people were going out for, aside from going and grabbing up all the tissue and hand sanitizer?
Right. Yeah.
They were grabbing up all the meat. Okay. They were grabbing up all the ramen noodles. They were grabbing up all the canned foods. For me, because I'm vegan, and then I do have some vegetarian options. people don't go after fruits and vegetables. They don't go after fresh fruits and vegetables. So there was plenty of that. I didn't have any issues
Right.
with going and finding my foods because here they are in abundance while everybody is going, oh, well, I can't find any chicken. Well, I'm good. I'm got beans, so, and nuts and things like that. Those things were in abundance where people were gravitating towards meats and other things like that. I didn't really have to deal with that as much because, I could just go to the store, spend $100-something, yeah, which is really ridiculous. But I look at it like this. You spend $125 on groceries now, or you can spend $125 on doctor bills later to go get your medicine for diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol.
Wow.
I mean, you choose your poison on that.
Wow. No, that's key. And yeah, I was wondering about that just when it comes to the industry standard, because some people are like, wow, I got to build up my immune system. I have to make sure I don't get sick. I figured that it would do that, but not being a professional in the industry, I was like, let me ask the pro. So when it comes to this, you've been given so many different tips and tricks and just ways to get this thing going. But if you had three things that you said, you know what, you guys, if you want to start your track toward good health, do these three things. And I know for those who want to dig deeper, they're gonna come to you. But if you had just those three, what would they be? What are your core three?
Okay, so my core three. Number one, drink water. Again, like I said, it affects, our bodies are made up of water. The more water we drink, the better it helps our body to be able to function. It helps to oxidize our blood. It helps to, like I said, cognizant stuff. We'll be able to process things a lot better just by drinking water. And if you have an unhealthy diet, which is, maybe it may be high fat, drinking plenty of water, it helps to push that out of your system, that's something that's so important. Number two is add at least one fruit and vegetable per day to your diet.
Wow.
Whether it is raw or whether it is, making it, you're cooking it, so you can eat it in its raw form, or you can prepare it. Either way it goes, add at least one fruit or vegetable to your diet a day. And then number three, it's really simple. Just start. I just put it like this. The process to good health is only accelerated at the starting line. If you don't start somewhere, you will never get where you're trying to go to. You have to be able to accelerate a health process, and you can't get where you're trying to go if you don't start.
Wow.
If you don't start something. So you have to accelerate it at your starting line.
That is awesome, guys. If you heard what she said, start. How often do we hear that? But how often do we neglect that, right? How do we just not even start? We give up before we get going. Brie, thank you so much for all those tips and tricks, the knowledge that you bring to this thing, and your care. You care so much, and that, y'all, is what I know about her for the last 10 years of our lives. She has been such an amazingly caring person. So, Brie, if you had one product, program, service that you offer that you say, you know what, this is what I want to give to you guys, what would that be?
So the service that I would offer, that I do offer, is, I do a consultation to just go over basically what it is that you're wanting to start as far as with your health journey. And that's pretty much it down to the services. I also do meal planning and meal prep. So that is something that, because sometimes because we do get so busy, it is very difficult to find healthy foods or put together things that actually taste delicious. So I do also offer meal planning and meal prep for people who are interested in wanting to do those things as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So consultation as well as meal prep, guys. If that is something that you're saying, you know what, I need a partner, I need an accountability to my health and my nutrition, I want you to reach out to Brie. Brie, what's the best way for my audience to reach out to you? Is there a social platform? What's the best way to get that consultation started?
Okay, so I have a couple different. So you can either hit me at my my personal email, which is B as in boy, Spencer, 122704@gmail.com, or because sometimes that's the one I'm on the most, or you can hit me at my business email, which is a unique vision nutrition@gmail.com. Also, you can hit me up at Instagram, and Instagram is going to be _unique vision.
Awesome. And all of this will be linked in our show notes. So whether you're listening to this on any one of our podcast channels or you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and check the links below to see and connect with Brie. Now, Brie, one last question that you know nothing about. I do this at the end of my shows. But there's a scene in the very first Batman, right? It came out, The Dark Knight, I'm sorry. It came out early 2000s. But after Batman had like defeated Two-Face, you know, it shows him just running kind of into the darkness. There's dogs chasing him and the cops, and he's getting ready to go into he's going off the grid, right? He's going into hiding. And until movie 2 comes out, he comes out and it's like, there's Batman, get him. But if you were to say, you know what, I'm about to go off the grid. I'm about to go black. I'm going dark. You know, how the TVs used to go back in the day, the white noise. I'm leaving. I'm going off. If there was one thing that you could say to encourage people before you went off the grid, what would that piece of encouragement be?
So the best way to encourage people is to just know that you have this. Know that you have people that are in your corner. We're standing with you with whatever decision it is that you make. We want you to live your best life, and your best life on this side of the grave. Let's just be honest. We want you to live your best on this side of the grave. So in order for that to happen, you have to start somewhere, and let your starting point be with somebody that you, not necessarily somebody that's in your circle, but somebody that's outside of your circle that's going to help push and accelerate you to that next level.
Wow. That's awesome, guys. So you heard it here first, guys. Have someone in your corner that maybe is unbiased to push you to that next level in your own life. Man, I hope you guys got value out of this podcast. Brie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for what you do and how you help people, because you're literally helping to add years to people's lives. And that's awesome. That's a superhero. So we thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for watching us. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this episode with Bre Spencer. Please check the show notes for all of her contact information if you're looking for someone to hold you accountable in your nutrition, or simply just help you hold your hand and take you to the next steps to becoming a more healthier you. Again, guys, make sure you check out our book, 100% Me Physically. It features Brie as our nutritionist for Speak Audibly, and I just want to thank her so much for all the time she spent with us today. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to know anytime that we release new videos. If you're listening to this through any of our podcast channels, whether it be Stitcher, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you guys so much. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, speak audibly. You have a voice. Let it be heard. So what is Speak Audibly all about? Speak Audibly, if you see there on that cell phone image of our website,